She is an active member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women's Oakland Bay Area. She empowers girls, young adults, and women to be politically and socially active. She is a speaker for NAMI fighting the stigma on mental illness. She empowers and encourages women to appreciate and live their best life. And now she's encouraging you to stand up for yourself in all facets of life.
Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome to TeeTalk. I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to have this outlet and have you here today. This is my first podcast. I get interviewed a lot, so I get an opportunity to ask myself the questions, try to bring interesting topics to you, as well as having some guests that might be of interest to you or might be able to bring some important information. A little bit about myself. My name is Tamori Richardson, TeeTalk. The reason why it's called TeeTalk, because one of my assistants said, well, they need to know why. Everybody calls me T. Tamori is such a difficult name. My mother's cousin named me, and the name is Japanese. It's a beautiful name, but it's hard for people to pronounce. So I usually get called Tamara, Tamara. That's not it. So everyone calls me T. It's easier, simpler, it's cleaner. So I am a professional motivational speaker, certified mental health advocate. I'm an author. I'm a 3-time best-selling author, 1-time international best-selling author. I'm a domestic violence conqueror. I am a presenter and speaker for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the San Francisco affiliate. I help them break the stigma on mental illness in all communities. I chair the Black Mental Health Committee, so I can specifically support our Black community. And in May, we just had our Black Mental Health Summit. If you get an opportunity, go to namisf.org and you'll get a chance to see. I moderated it. We had 2 wonderful Black mental health professionals there. And it was very well turned out. It was a virtual event and the folks really loved it. That's what we need to do more of in the Black community, talk about mental health to normalize it once we, and I don't like that word normal, but once we make something the regular, then it doesn't have the stigma. It's not that ugly word. And then people are okay with talking about seeing a therapist, or I don't feel good today, or I feel kind of off. They're okay with that because we know that this is something that we all deal with. I am also a member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women in the Oakland Bay Area chapter. If you don't know anything about 100 Black Women, 1, you must be living under a rock, but 2, go to www.100blackwomen.org or .com. It is a phenomenal organization. And what we do, it's all about volunteer and advocacy. And we are supporting Black women. We are supporting Black girls to be phenomenal Black women. We have economic empowerment program, our public policy that goes over the importance of why Black women need to be involved in the political and the public aspects. Because we turn out elections, but it's important that we know why we need to be so in tune and so involved. We have a health committee where we've tackled AIDS, HIV, mental health, metabolic syndrome. We've done so many wonderful things, and we have an educational program. And we also have 12 to 17-year-old girls that are in our mentoring program. So check that out. It's amazing. I'm also the president of the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce, which is one of my passions. I get an opportunity as a serial entrepreneur. I get an opportunity to support other Black businesses in generating generational wealth and having the resources and the education that they need to be phenomenal. So those are some of the things that I'm doing. I'm a mother of 2. I have a 16-year-old son that is 6 feet tall, cannot believe it, and a 15-year-old daughter. They're both in high school, doing amazing. So I get interviewed a lot. I thought this was an opportunity for me to come and talk about subjects that I like to hear. I'm going to have guests on here and just kind of have a good time in the process of doing. I know everybody has a podcast, so I'm going to try not to bore you to death in this one. But in respect of October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I thought it was fitting as a domestic violence conqueror that I take this episode to acknowledge that. Acknowledge what domestic violence is and how it's killing, families, communities and the importance of individuals getting the support that they need. I often talk about domestic violence because I was married to someone who prior to me beat women. And when he married me, although he didn't put his hand on me, but he did everything else known to man, so that when I left that situation, I lived with anxiety and PTSD because he was a terror. So I understand the importance of domestic violence and what it can do to you. And I had 2 children that were not this person's. It is so important that if you are in a situation where someone is mentally, physically, emotionally, or financially, but let me tell you, domestic violence is not just about hitting. As I stated, I was never hit, but he destroyed stuff, tried to set me up, promiscuity, everything else that he could do, he tried to do. There are many facets. If you're in a relationship where you are at the mercy of someone who handles all the finances and you can only have it when and how he or she says, that's not a good situation. And that is considered domestic. That is considered not a proper relationship to be in, because keep in mind, relationships about love and support. And if you have to beg for your independence, beg to be seen, and beg to be loved, you are not in a relationship that is conducive, one, with the Bible, because we know God is a God of love. So why would you be in a relationship with someone that doesn't have the ability to support and love you? So I want to encourage everyone and anyone, men or women, if you are in a relationship where you are either being hit or not, it is not okay. It is not a relationship that is ever going to be anything different than what it is. What it does is it ramps up, and it's going to be your responsibility to love you, fight for your sanity, and fight for yourself. We look in the news and look what's happening. Women are getting killed. And if you're a woman of color, you're not even being looked for. So if you get killed by someone that you're in a domestic violence situation with, the chances of us even being able to bring him or her to justice, we don't even get that time on the air. So it's important that you fight for you. It's important that your life be so important to you. I had to understand this and learn this the hard way, that it is not my job to make anybody feel good about their childhood trauma. Your mom and daddy messed you up, then you deal with your mom and daddy. Because what you're finding is men and women who had horrible childhoods are now coming in adulthood and taking childhood trauma out on adults. So like, what do you do with that? How do you move forward when you're dealing with somebody's kiddie stuff that they weren't able to move past, and it might be legitimate trauma, but it's not your trauma. So I want to encourage you, and I want to encourage everyone out there, that if you are looking and you are in need of help and you don't know how to get it, that I'm going to have at the end of this video some resources for you to make sure that you can call someone, reach out. NAMI, we have our Black Minds Matter support group every first and third. It's virtual Friday of the month. Our first one is today at 6 o'clock. You are welcome to join. And we have folks that talk about everything from childhood trauma, domestic violence. We talk about grief. We talk about death. We talk about everything. Everything is about getting you there and help making it so that you can have a more productive life as an adult. And keeping and holding those things in doesn't allow you to do that, and it doesn't honor you. So in honor of October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and in honor of all the victims out there who didn't get an opportunity to see that their abuser was held accountable for that, and in honor of those who are still living in situations and don't know how, please reach out to the resources at the end, even if it's to pop into my messenger and say, listen, I'm in a situation, then let's figure it out and let's work together. So this is my first podcast, kind of like introduction. I hope this wasn't too heavy for you. Every week won't be heavy, but domestic violence is an important conversation. And women more so than anything are susceptible to it. The LGBTQ community is more so than anything susceptible to it. Men are susceptible to it, but they don't speak out and they don't say anything. So then you have women that are abusing men. And so guess what? They go from man to man to man, abusing them because Nobody's saying anything. So let's start speaking out and start talking about it. So I will be with you every week. I'm going to talk to you probably about 30, 45 minutes. We'll have specific topics. If you have questions, if you want to be a guest on my podcast, reach out and let me know. Leave it in the comments and my admin will reach out to you and talk to you about it. So thank you for being here with me for these few minutes. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And just enjoy life. You know, life isn't that serious. Enjoy it, love it, live it, and make sure you're around people that encourage you to be better tomorrow than you were today. Signing out, everybody. Bye-bye.